The package arrived on a Tuesday. Small, unassuming, wrapped in plain brown paper with no return address. Just my name scrawled across the front in handwriting I'd recognize anywhere, asterisk his star. Lucas. My fingers trembled as I peeled back the paper, revealing a sleek black box beneath. My pulse kicked up, memories of a smirk flashing in my mind. The way he'd look at me when he knew he had me right where he wanted me. Before I continue with the rest of the story, kindly do me a little favor. Please hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment your favorite part of the story below. I love reading your thoughts and reactions. They truly keep me going. Now, allow me to take a moment to appreciate my you. Yes, you. Thank you for making us a strong community. Each one of you is a pillar of strength, color, and courage. This journey wouldn't be possible without your love, your voice, and your presence. You are making the queer community proud, and I see every one of you. Your support is not just a number. It's a movement. It's light in the dark. It's love, loud and unashamed. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for standing with me. Thank you for being you. Now back to my story. Inside the box lay a single key. No note, no explanation. Just cold metal resting against velvet, glinting under the dim light of my apartment. I knew exactly what it was for. The address was burned into my brain. That little loft above the old bookstore, the one with the creaky stairs and the too thin walls. The place where Lucas had first kissed me. First made me forget my own name. I shouldn't have gone. But of course I did. The key turned smoothly in the lock, the door swinging open to reveal a room bathed in golden lamplight. And there, in the center, stood him. Lucas leaned against the arm of the couch, all effortless grace and knowing smiles. He was dressed down, just a loose white shirt and dark jeans, his sleeves rolled up to reveal the tattoos I'd traced with my tongue more times than I could count. "Took you long enough," he murmured. I swallowed hard. "You couldn't have just called?" He pushed off the couch, closing the distance between us in slow, deliberate steps. Where's the fun in that? His fingers brushed my wrist as he took the key from me, sending a shiver up my spine. Then, without another word, he reached behind me and locked the door. The gift wasn't the key. It wasn't the loft or the way the setting sun painted the room in warm hues. It was him. Every touch, every whispered word, every moment of unbearable tension as he led me further in. His hands were firm, his mouth relentless, and by the time he pushed me down onto the couch, I was already breathless. "You've been thinking about this," he said. Not a question. I didn't answer. I didn't have to. He smirked, trailing a finger down my chest. "Tell me?" I exhaled sharply. "Yes." That was all he needed. Later, when the room was dark and the only sound was our ragged breathing, Lucas pressed a kiss to my shoulder and stood. "Stay," I said, my voice rough. He just smiled, pulling his shirt back on. "Next time." And just like that, he was gone, leaving me there, still trembling, still gasping. The key sat on the coffee table, gleaming in the dim light. A promise, a threat. I already knew I'd use it again. The key burned a hole in my pocket for days. I told myself I wouldn't go back. Not so soon. Not without some kind of explanation. Some sign that he wanted more than just another night. But Lucas had always been good at getting under my skin, at making me forget my own rules. By Friday, I caved. The loft was dark when I arrived, the only light spilling in from the street lamps below. I hesitated at the door, key in hand, half expecting, hoping that he'd be waiting. But the room was empty, the air thick with the scent of old books and his cologne, lingering like a ghost. I stepped inside, running my fingers along the back of the couch where he'd pinned me down just days before. My skin prickled at the memory. Then I saw it, a note on the coffee table, folded neatly beside a single black chess piece. A knight. Asterisk, you always like games. Asterisk, that was all. No instructions. No clues. Just his infuriating smirk in written form. I exhaled sharply, picking up the piece. It was cool in my palm, smooth and weighted. A challenge. A dare. I found him 3 nights later, the Black Bishop, a dimly lit bar tucked between a pawn shop and a closed-down theater. He was sitting at a corner table, a half-finished drink in front of him, idly turning another chess piece between his fingers. Our eyes met across the room. He didn't smile, didn't wave, just watched me, waiting to see what I'd do. I slid into the seat across from him. "You're predictable," he said, setting the piece down, a white pawn. I leaned forward. "And you're playing a game I don't know the rules to." Lucas finally smirked, slow and knowing. "That's the fun part." He pushed the pawn toward me. "Your move." I didn't touch it. "What do you want?" His foot brushed mine on the table, sending a jolt up my leg. "You already know." I did, and that was the problem. The loft again. This time he didn't leave. His hands were in my hair, his mouth hot against mine as he backed me against the wall. I could taste the whiskey on his tongue, feel the sharp edge of his teeth when he bit my lower lip just hard enough to make me groan. "Tell me to stop," he murmured against my jaw. I gripped his shirt, pulling him closer. "You know I won't." He laughed, low and dark, before dragging me to the bed. Morning came too soon. I woke to an empty space beside me. The sheets cool where he should have been. But this time, there was no key left behind. No note, just the faint imprint of his body on the mattress. And my phone buzzing on the nightstand. A single message. Asterisk checkmate. Asterisk. I stared at the screen, my chest tight. Then I smiled. Because if Lucas thought this was over, he'd forgotten one thing. I never liked losing. The days without him stretched longer than they should have. I told myself I wouldn't chase him. That if he wanted to disappear after leaving a single cryptic message, then fine. Let him go. But the city felt different now. Every corner bookstore, every dimly lit bar, every narrow street carried the ghost of him. The way he'd look at me just before kissing me, like he was memorizing my face. The way his voice dropped to a whisper when he thought I wasn't listening. I missed him. And that realization hit harder than anything else. It rained the night I finally broke. I stood outside the Black Bishop, water dripping from my hair, my heart pounding for no good reason. The bar was nearly empty, just a bartender wiping down glasses, and a couple murmuring in a corner booth. No Lucas. I exhaled, running a hand through my damp hair. Of course he wasn't here. He'd made his move. He'd left. Then the bartender slid a drink toward me. "From the gentleman in the back," he said, nodding toward the shadowed alcove near the fireplace. My breath caught. Lucas sat there, a book open in his lap, his glasses perched low on his nose. He wasn't looking at me. He was pretending to read, but I knew him, knew the way his fingers tapped against the page when he was impatient. I took the drink, whiskey, neat, just how I liked it, and walked over. "You're terrible at chess," I said. He finally looked up, his lips curving into that slow, devastating smile. "But you keep playing anyway." I set the glass down and took the seat across from him. I didn't come here for a game. Lucas closed the book, his gaze steady on mine. "Why did you come?" The truth sat heavy on my tongue. Asterisk, because I can't stop thinking about you. Because I wake up reaching for you. Because I'm yours, even when you're not here. Asterisk. But all I said was, "You left without saying goodbye." Something flickered in his eyes. He reached across the table, his fingers brushing over mine. "I don't do goodbyes." "Then what do you do?" His thumb traced my knuckles feather-light. "I come back." We walked through the rain after that, shoulders bumping, his coat draped over my head. When the downpour got worse, he didn't take me to the loft. He took me home. His home. A small apartment above a flower shop, filled with mismatched furniture and stacks of books and a record player humming something soft and old. I stood in the doorway, dripping onto the hardwood, suddenly unsure. Lucas turned to me, his hair damp, his shirt clinging to his shoulders. "You're staring." "I've never been here before," I said quietly. He stepped closer, cupping my face in his hands. "I know." And then he kissed me. Slow, deep, like he had all the time in the world. Like this wasn't just another night. Like I was something to savor. When he pulled away, his forehead rested against mine. "Stay." Not a command. A question. I answered by pulling him back in. Morning came, golden and quiet. I woke to the smell of coffee and the sound of Lucas humming in the kitchen. His bed was softer than the loft's, his sheets smelling like lavender and something uniquely him. I found him at the stove, barefoot, his hair still sleep mussed. He turned when he heard me, his smile softer than I'd ever seen it. "Morning," he murmured, handing me a mug. I took it, our fingers brushing. "You're domestic." He laughed, pulling me in by the waist. "Only for you." And there, in the sunlight, with his arms around me and his heartbeat under my palm, I realized this was a real gift. Not the games, not the keys or the notes or the teasing. Him. All of him. I kissed him, slow and sweet, and whispered against his lips, "Don't disappear again." Lucas held me tighter. "I won't." And for the first time, I believed him.